Today, I'm real excited to show you this video. Hopefully you guys dig it. It's all about colorants. This is pretty much a two-part video, all in one video. So I'm gonna be explaining what colorants are used for, how you can add them to stain, how you can add them to your clear coat to get a blotch-free finish. The first part of this video, up until about 3 minutes or so, is gonna be all about mixing colorants with stain and how to make your own stain. And then after the 3-minute mark to the rest of the video is gonna be about adding colorants to your clear coat to get the ultimate finish. So today we're gonna be talking about colorant. Colorant is the backbone of everything. Colorant is in the stain that you buy from the store. So you can pretty much use colorant in a variety of ways. This is colorant, this is stain. So now say this stain, which is a walnut, I believe, American walnut. Now say this stain wasn't quite dark enough, but I don't want to go to, a different version of their stain because there's too much red in it, or, not enough brown in it, or too much yellow in it. You can buy colorant, which is basically the tinting when you go to the big box stores or whatnot, and they make your paint colors there for you, and sometimes they'll make stain colors there for you, and they pull this little lever and they type on their computer, and then they start injecting all these little fluids inside the paint to change the color. That is what colorant is. It's not that expensive. I actually have it linked down below. Amazon even has it, which blew my mind because I would have to buy this stuff from industrial places, but now with Amazon, boom. The funny part is I haven't had to buy colorant in quite some time because these little quarts are, I think they're quarts, yeah, 1 US quart, 32 ounces. They last a lifetime, and I believe they're like $30 a quart. So now the thing is, you don't use much. What I would do is say I want my American walnut to be just a little darker, maybe a hint more of the black, then I would use the lamp black, and boom, put a few drops in that, just kind of mix with it, or mess with it, you pour a little bit into a cup, and then you just mix it together. Add a little bit more of the colorant, get it to the shade that you want. Works phenomenal. You could also add red oxide. So you want a little more, auburn, a little burgundy effect to it. Boom. Yellow oxide. You could put that in it, give it a little more yellow tones. There's so many different colorants available, and you could kind of just play around. Like, so for red, I would use that. That's more of like the brownish tones. And then yellow, of course, will do that and all that stuff. Black is really awesome. So say you're at the store, you buy some ebony, you get home, the stain, you put the stain on, not quite what you expected. I'm guessing like 40 shades of gray, less of black. That was a joke. Than you expected. So usually that ebony at the store, you're like, man, I'm gonna go home, make this piece black. It's gonna look awesome. The grain's gonna be popping through. You get home, you do it, and it's like, that's basically a light brown, and you're just not excited about it. Adding the colorant of the lamp is gonna really knock your socks off. You could make that ebony as dark as you want. They have plenty of stains that are just no colored stains, and they're just a clear base, basically. It's got all the liquids that you need in there for stain, and then you can get that and start mixing your own stain colors, which is really, really cool. Okay, so now that's how you can get your stain darker, or change the color of your stain, add a little more yellow. That's how you could do all that. Now, how do you get rid of blotches? Great question. I'm gonna tell you. So here's the deal. What I normally do, I have kind of like a formula in my head. It's not written down. There's no exact science to finishing. And if you find it, please let me know and send that to Doing It with Jason, P.O. Box. So when you're applying your finish, generally to get a perfect finish, you're gonna wanna be using a spray gun. So I have a spray set up that I have, you can use any kind of company, Graco, airless, air assisted airless. There's so many different videos on that. You can watch those from other YouTubers. So here's the deal. Say I want the piece to look like this. This is what I want. Beautiful, deep brown, lovely wood finish, very smooth, very even. Now, I want that in my piece. So what I'm gonna do is get that exact color, but go a few shades lighter. And depending on how good you spray, depending on how good your stain is applying ahead of time, is how many shades lighter you're gonna go with your stain. So say your piece is coming out blotchy, your sample piece just looks horrible. Like, dude, there's no way this stain is gonna look good. Can't even put a finish on it. It just looks like bubble gum everywhere, blah, blah, blah. What you're gonna do is go quite a few shades lighter with your stain. So you're gonna tone your stain, get a stain that's much lighter, same idea of what the final idea is or the final color you're going for. and then you tint your clear coat. So these colorants not only work with stain, they also work with lacquers, catalyzed lacquers. So I use this 2-part urethane now a lot of the times that I spray on. I've got, I think, 3.5 to 4 hours to spray it on after I mix the 1-part to 2-part formula, and then it just starts gelling up my gun. Got to get it out of there, got to clear it up. Anyhow, these things will work with anything, water-based clears and your lacquers and you name it. So what you do is you add a little bit of this to your clear coat before you spray it, and of course test it. A little goes a long way. I don't really measure because it's really hard to do that. My measuring is pouring it into, scooping, not really pouring, but scooping this into my clear coat, mixing it around, running it through my gun, spraying it on the wall, and say, oh, it's a pretty good shade. But trust me, that's the only way I found that would work. Like I said, there is no exact science, but it does work. So if I need it to go a lot darker, then I'm gonna add a little more colorant, whether it be black, whether it be the red oxide or a brown or a yellow or an orange, so I can tint it. So therefore, what I'm doing actually is I'm putting on a shell of clear finish over my stain. But that shell of clear finish doesn't have to be clear, and that's where the colorants come into play. It could have a light shade of brown to it. So therefore, when it's going over it, it's deepening up the stain just on the top, and it's really making that stain blend a whole lot nicer than what it looked like before. And by doing this method, you can do this. This is what I do. This is what it will come out, and that's with no prepping. You can literally throw stain on something really quick. You can dunk it in a booth, pull it out, let it dry, do this method, and you can deepen it up, put the tones in, put some yellows in, whatever color you want on your tinting clear coat. Now, generally, I put 3 coats of clear coat, what I'm using with the urethane, because it's a mill finish, so you don't want to go too high, it'll shatter. So it's really, really fine layers that I'm spraying on, but the results are phenomenal. You will go from like, that looks okay, to a customer saying, wow, that is amazing. And it's all from these colorants. So the colorants can be used for stain, they can be used for clear coats. But yeah, so colorants, I should change the name of this video to Colorants Save My Life, because colorants is all I go by now when I'm finishing something. And stains, you don't have to, some people will go to like a giant, warehouse manufacturer of stains and say, hey, I need this tinted to this to match this. You can do that, and that is another way to go, and they'll give it and they'll tint it and they'll put these colorants in for you. Or you can, spend a few bucks and color it yourself. So it's really cool. I don't know why I said self, like that was weird, but it's really cool. It's really fun. And let me know what you think in the comments down below if you have any questions or what have you done in the past. And yeah, we will see you next time. Thank you for watching.